This is my workroom. It's a good room to work in. I mean, the light is reasonably good. It's a nice light sort of workroom. And that's my press here, which is an Albion press. It's dated 1859. I do all my printing on that. And what I'm doing with most of my picture books now is I work on vinyl, because if I was working on wood, that would probably cost me about £300. So you could see the sort of difference, really. But vinyl is a very useful medium because it engraves very smoothly and it doesn't crumble and all that sort of thing, which other media can do. So for me, it's an ideal medium, really. My name is John Lawrence, and I'm a book illustrator and a wood engraver. As a child, I did a lot of drawing. I always loved the idea of drawing things. I had 2 years at the Central Art School. We had life drawing on Mondays, we had painting on Tuesdays, we had illustration on Wednesdays, we had graphic illustration on Thursdays, and we had printmaking on Fridays. Engraving is something like a sort of negative process, you know. You're exploring white from black, whereas otherwise you'd be drawing in black on white. It's just the actual mark making, the idea of different sizes of tool going into a sort of black sort of area and creating these sort of sparky marks and things that you could do. All these tools come into play in some shape or form. You're first of all sort of tending to use the line tools, and of course these come in different sizes. That's a sort of slightly smaller than medium. That's quite a large one. As in fact do the scorping tools. I've got all these what we call multiple tools, which do various lines at once. I haven't counted how many that does, but it does actually give you a lot of lines at once. And one of the big things about this whole process, as far as I'm concerned, is the sense of texture and so on, which you keep the surface very lively. It's full of textures and excitements and things. I can't bear tight engraving. I like quite loose sort of engraving and so on. And I don't like scratchy engraving either, where you're sort of scratching around on the surface. I like positive sort of work. That tool, at one time, would have been that length. And over 50 years of work, that's all I've got left of that. My main purpose in life, if you like, is to tell stories through pictures, really. Narrative is the big thing. I can thoroughly attach myself to a storyline and I can live it, and I love it. And so the idea of a book to me is the pinnacle of anything that I'd like to do, really. This is a book I'm doing for Walker Books about crocodiles. It's a book for 1 to 5-year-olds. What I'm trying to do is to have these big sort of crocodiles sort of through the book so that they grab people's attention. And what I do is I first of all do a dummy, which is all drawn. And then once we've got the dummy really sorted out, what I do is I draw the whole thing out more carefully, and then I trace it onto the vinyl tiles. For children, you want a vibrant sort of image, and the idea of a sort of sharp tool going through either a surface of wood or something like a composite like vinyl. I like to think there's a certain immediacy when you sort of cut something. Well, this is the block from Wayland, and this is going to be the sea. This is the castle on the steep hill, and this is Wayland waiting for this sort of ship to come across. They think they're going to capture him, but in fact, as soon as they see that he's got wings, they know they're not. Let's see what we've got. Cross fingers. I don't know why, but I normally do this 8 times. That sort of thing you get into. You do it 8 times and then you rest. And then
Hold it round.
oh, it's not too bad. There it is. Printed.